plus new coaches this year. 6 of the 14 NWSL teams have brand new head coaches to start the season. One of those is Racing Louisville FC. Bev Yanez is the new head coach. We had chatted with her on Attacking Third. If you did not ever listen to that episode, please go back and listen to it because she is inspiring. She talks about which direction she wants to take this team. And now she really gets to sink her teeth in front of the public eye after a lengthy offseason, a lengthy preseason. Racing Louisville has their first match against Orlando Pride on Saturday, March 16th at 4:00 Eastern. And we get to see the first taste of what Bev Yanez's side is going to look like this year. Darian, what do you expect from Yanez?
I am so excited for Bev. I had the honor of playing with her in Seattle, and she's probably one of my favorite teammates I've ever had. How she was in our interview with her is exactly how she is through and through, on and off the pitch. She's in love with soccer. She's infectious. She's incredibly positive. She sees the game in a way that's just so digestible to anybody that speaks to her. It makes you want to just go outside and kick a ball and like start checking your shoulder and working on angles for passing and play to a specific foot. She is one of the best players. If you go back and even watch her play, she's so fundamentally good. She's one of those players that does all of the technical fundamentals of football correctly. And I think we're going to see that with this team that she'll present on Saturday, or do they play Saturday? So I think that it's going to be a tough game against Orlando. Orlando's not going to be an easy team to beat, but I think especially her being a first-time coach, we're going to see a lot of energy in this first game. I know she's excited. She's gotten buy-in from the team. This culture is going to be really good. And I'm excited for her. I love seeing a former player come out into the league, now becoming a head coach. She's done all of the steps to get to where she is, and she's fully deserved this position. And I think the moves that she made in the offseason as well are going to be really good for this team. Some players specifically I'm excited to see. Raylan Turner. I think she's such a great... I
knew you were going to say her. She's from
UCLA. Not because I'm a Bruin. I am actually really a fan of the way that she plays. And I think she has this raw talent that Bev is the perfect coach to go and play under to add more layers to her game, to her professional game, which is the small details that come with being a pro soccer player that you don't have in college, that you kind of get away with, especially somebody of her caliber. I think she's going to be in the national team pool in the next coming years. She's under the perfect coach to get her to that level. Someone else that I'm excited to see, Erin Wright. She is going to come out flying in the back line. I've never met somebody, maybe her and Sarah Gordon are players that I'm like, don't you ever get tired? You have run at the same speed this entire game. And that's the player you want on your team. She's a veteran. She's a leader on the pitch. She's also feisty, which I love because you need a player like that who's going to give the team edge. But I think that they have a really good team of personalities. They have a good culture. Bev Yanez is a great coach, a great human being. And I'm really excited to see how Louisville's going to come out this year because I think they haven't had all of the pieces and they finally do. And when you have a good coach, it makes it that much easier to come in and love what you're doing and have good product on the field.
I think this is the first season for Racing Louisville since their entry into the league in 2021, where you look at their offseason, how they operated, the folks that they have in their coaching staff, which is whether it's Bev Yanez or at this point, even now, Carmelina Moscato as well, who's part of that staff, and take a look at the roster in front of it and have such optimism. And I mean real optimism, not the we'll see what it looks like kind of energy that comes out of a year one in an expansion side, because those narratives have also been smashed by the Angel Cities and the San Diegos. The concept of getting into this league as an expansion side and having a little bit of grace and maybe even a little bit of expectation that you will fall short of some things in your first year, that's out the window. So since then, we've had a racing side that we've been trying to see maybe take those next steps. One of these clubs that has had to deal with off-field issues as well. Have to make sure that they have infrastructure and support in place for their players and in order to succeed. And I'm eager to see what that looks like with Bev Yanez as the head coach is sort of the face of this kind of new era for this racing side. And I know for all the reasons that you've already mentioned, Darian, I'm equally as amped up for this racing side. I think there's a good group here, correct, like the right personnel that you want in the mix. I think when we're talking about balance of rosters, we, in NWSL, we're looking at players who have been here, those players with that NWSL specific experience, combined with, those young faces or newer faces coming in from the collegiate level. But you want to also have your sprinkling of those international players, and racing has done that as well, bringing in Linda Mafalo back into NWSL, the South African who once here with Houston Dash. Now she's going to be running alongside racing. But Alicia Bajari is also part of this team, the Colombian international. So I want to see it all come together. And good shout from Lisa about checking out that interview that we had with Bev, because I don't know if anything even put us in a position to be amped up for the upcoming season. I remember after we had that interview with her, we were like, let's go. Start the season now. We were ready to go.
I wake up every morning and play that interview, so I'm like ready for my day. It's my inspo speech for the day. Racing Louisville has struggled in the NWSL. This will be their 4th year. In 2021, with only 10 teams, they finished 9th. 2022 featured another expansion year, so LA or San Diego and Angel City joined. Louisville also finished 9th. Last year, they finished 9th again. They fell short. 9th place all 3 years in the league. And last year, I think they deserve to be a little bit higher based on how they played and things that were happening. It's tough to be a new team in this league. The coaching change that happened pretty seamlessly, I'm going to say, at this club. Kim Bjorkegren, the former coach, his contract was up, and so they did not renew it. It was almost like a mutual parting of ways. He didn't get fired early. He didn't leave. It was almost like the most kosher on paper HR transfer you could have. That doesn't mean everything was kosher behind the scenes, but because of that, I think it allows Bev Yanez to come into this group and really have a fresh, clean slate. With the owners, with the group that she has brought in. Some losses for this Racing Louisville side. Tembi Catlana, no longer there. I believe she went to Mexico.
Yeah, turn it up.
Yeah, she's in Mexico.
I think she's got 3 goals and like 7 appearances so far. So doing her thing still.
Peyton Monahan is no longer there. She has gone throughout this group. And then just like some random asterisk notes for fans. Marissa Vigiano is now on this roster, but she's probably going to go by Marissa DeGrande. She did get married.
Congrats.
Taylor Korniak also on this roster. She's probably going to go by Taylor Flint. So don't be surprised when you hear those names come opening weekend. But it's a different look for this side, and a lot of different players that are coming in. Aaron Wright, you mentioned, Jordan Baggett as well on this side, Darian. They are players that can help establish this group and keep them moving forward. They were really young the last several years, with Savannah DeMello and Jaden Howe being captain of this group in just 3 years in. Now she has that veteran experience. Now it makes a lot of sense, but they also brought in some other veterans to help them in that growth period to kind of get over the hump, the 9th place hump for Louisville. This is the year that they're going to do it under Bev Yanez with this new program and everything that's to come.
And they only have to try to get 8th. They only have to try to get
8th. They only have to get 8th, and they're into the postseason. How terrible is that they hit 9th place all 3 years?
At least they're consistent.
Yeah, that is terrible, Darian.
That's excellent. That's what the people call me 3-4.
It was real.
Well, we'll see what Louisville does. The purple takes on purple against Orlando Pride in the opening match of the NWSL season. That's Saturday, March 16th at 4:00 Eastern under a new head coach in Bev Yanez. It will be a good one.